And we want to work with our colleagues, with our friends around the world, as we have from the beginning, to develop new treatments and to develop new vaccines, as we have. And by the way, I can today announce that over 500,000 people, more than 500,000 people in the UK have now received their first dose. As we've seen throughout this pandemic, this virus, alas, can move all too swiftly from one nation to another, but it is steadily being defeated by an international response, and an international response that is bringing the hope of vaccines to the entire world. And in that, the UK will continue to play its full part. I now hand over to Secretary of State for Transport, Grant.
Thank you very much, PM. It's just worth knowing what's going on in Kent. Before I came
Schools are not part of the problem of COVID in our communities, but out of an abundance of caution, school closures over the winter break will be extended. Students from kindergarten to grade 8 will resume in-class instruction on January 11th. High school students will resume learning remotely on the 11th and return to in-class instructions on January 25th. Asking students and staff to stay home a little longer will help ensure we do what's needed to control. These are decisions that are extremely difficult, but they're absolutely critical. And I know how much our businesses are struggling. That's why I've directed our finance minister to review our existing business support programs. We will be launching the new Ontario Small Business Support Grant, which will provide a minimum of $10,000 and up to $20,000 to be eligible small business owners to help them through this challenging time. That's up to $20,000 to help hundreds of thousands of businesses across the province. And they will decide where those funds are needed most. Every day, we learn more about this terrible virus. And the hard truth is that it's not going anywhere until we're able to vaccinate more Ontarians. So as we enter this province-wide shutdown, I've asked Dr. Williams to work with our public health experts to review what lessons we've learned about COVID and about our framework, and what updates could be implemented, including to our small business sector, I should say, as we continue to roll out vaccines. My friends, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And I've seen how resilient and strong we are as a people during this first wave and now into the second. The vaccines are on their way. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm asking everyone to stay strong just a little bit longer. Together, we will get through this. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll pass it over to Minister Elliott.
Done this. This is not a case of first impression. You have many countries that have just restricted flights from the UK. Many European countries have done it. Why are we doing nothing? 120 countries require the UK travelers that receive the negative test before they get on the plane in the UK. 120 countries. And the United States has done nothing. People in government often believe doing nothing is safe. Well, if I do nothing, I won't be criticized. I don't believe that. I believe that's exactly wrong. There are situations where doing nothing is actually doing something, where doing nothing is actually an affirmative action. When you do not require the UK flights to be tested, you are allowing thousands of UK passengers to arrive here every day. The authorities say they haven't found the strain here yet. They are science-based. Until they find the strain, they will say there is no strain. I believe, intuitively, it's already here. I believe that. Because if it's been flying around the world, it will be here. And I say that intuitively because I have an educated intuition, because I lived this and you lived this. This was the spring. This is how we had that New York ambush in the first place. This was, don't worry, the coronavirus is in China. No, it wasn't. The coronavirus got on a plane in China and went to Europe and came here from Europe. And nobody said anything for 2 months in the federal government. And it had been coming for so long that it was then too late. If this is more transmittable than COVID, 70 times more, says Boris Johnson, this is a major problem. And
and why did people attend them in fairly large numbers? We all need to commit ourselves to follow these rules and guidelines now. Now, it doesn't really matter. It never did matter what day different lockdowns were declared. It just matters that we decide to follow the advice that's been given for weeks on end. We need to repeat the solid compliance that we saw in the spring. If you think back, people really did cooperate at that time, and if you think back, the results showed for that. When we endured some weeks of sacrifice, the numbers got better and better as time went on. We have proven before that we can do this. We can do this. Please stay at home as much as possible. Please wear a mask whenever you go out. Please wash your hands, and please get tested if you have any COVID-19 symptoms, and make sure that you isolate yourself from others. Again, I thank Premier Ford and his government for their leadership. With these measures and our accepting collectively of a degree of personal responsibility, we can get through to the day when we can get vaccinated and really start to put this nightmare behind us. I'd now like to ask Dr. Davila to offer her report for today.
Thank you, Mayor Tory, and good afternoon.